First of all, I want to thank everybody that's here. It's a wonderful, I suppose, community or village of Declan and Tahlia's family, friends, people. It's just fantastic. So, welcome to the reception of their wedding, and it's going to be a great night. First of all, before I talk about Dec, I want to talk about Tahlia. We met Tahlia a few years ago. She came into our lives like an absolute whirlwind and a breath of fresh air.
A ray of sunshine.
A ray of sunshine. She's absolutely gorgeous. She brings just a wonderful personality and such enjoyment to our family life. And Father Matthew, when he spoke about the union of two families, is so true. We've been lucky enough to meet Andrew and Franny and all the girls and the boys and the family, extended family, and it's been really wonderful to get to know their family. So when Father Matthew said it was a union of two families, we honestly agree and we believe in that. So welcome to the Tompkins family, to the Mulhallans, and likewise. Yeah. And Blaze, yeah. I'm not going to... no, he does. No, he's easy to target. I'm not going to talk too long because you've got so many people to get through. I do want to thank a few people, all the people that came from interstate and overseas. Wonderful. Declan's godparents are here. They've been a wonderful influence on his life. Colin and Cheryl, so I'd like you to give them a shout out the back. So Colin and Cheryl, thank you so much. Declan, our second born, we're so proud of our three children, Blaze, Declan and Imogen. I think when you enter into a marriage and then you hope to have children, and you are lucky enough to have children, and then you get the three that we got, I think I speak for Julie and I that we're hugely proud, and I wear it on my chest. All three of them are just wonderful people, and I just wanted to acknowledge all three of them before I talk specifically about Dec. So, well done. It's just, they're wonderful kids. I have got a lot of lads in the audience that we're connected through footy that all think they're my sons as well. And pretty much all of them are, so yeah, I'm happy with that. Declan, on his day that he's married Tahlia, I think, Julie, I'd just like to say that we couldn't be more proud. And he's such a quiet kid. He's so layered and complex in his personality. He's such a clever lad, doing so well with his studies, and hopefully one day they'll be driving in an ambulance truck together, which will be fantastic. In finishing, I don't want to hold you up any longer, but what I want to do is I've already thanked everybody for being here, but I want to thank you all again. And secondly, again, I want to double down on, and I'm so excited to see what the future holds for Tahlia and Declan Tompkins. Yeah. Thank you.
Hello, thank you everyone. Tahlia said she received a text this morning that said, "Good morning, wifey." She said, "Oh, that's a little bit presumptuous." And I said, "Are you having second thoughts?" Because I am. But we love you, Declan. You'll hear more about that later. Unlike Graham, who was very able to speak off the cuff and without writing anything down, was very eloquent, I had to write my speech. So, ladies and gentlemen, family and friends, good evening. First, a warm welcome to everyone, especially those who have travelled long distances and interstate to be with us today. We're so grateful to have you here to celebrate this very special occasion. I would also like to extend a very special thank you to Father Matthew, who's become such a dear friend of the family since he's moved to Adelaide about 3 years ago. Father Matthew. He's a priest in high demand, and we're truly blessed to have him here today to celebrate Tahlia and Declan's wedding. Though, to be quite honest, I don't think he had much say in the matter. So shortly after Tahlia and Declan became engaged, Tahlia sent Father Matthew this text message. Thank you for sending it to me. And this is what it said. Hello, Father Matthew. It's Tahlia Mulholland. Is there any chance you'd be willing to bind Declan to me in the sacrament of marriage for the remainder of his life, no matter what? Lest he perish for all eternity in the fires of hell. Rather dramatic. So she continues. If so, November the 16th is a prospective date. But Mum said you have a wedding already on that date. But if you gave me her name, date of birth and residential address, I'm happy to have a civil discussion wherein she gets out of my way and cancels her wedding on that day. And with that, here we are. Now, Tahlia, what can I say about my eldest daughter? She's simply put, a beautiful woman inside and out. And we're so incredibly proud of her. As parents, Franny and I have never been prouder. Now, Tahlia is the eldest of 6 children, and yes, before you ask, we have a television. And the people who ask whether we have a television or not must have a very, very special relationship with it. Maybe that's the only thing they have, to be honest. But the result of not having a weird relationship with my television is, and maybe missing a few episodes of Seinfeld, is we have 6 beautiful children: Tahlia, Bridget, Raquel, Caleb, Maya and Amos. Franny and I feel so blessed beyond words, particularly now when they've grown up and they're past things like the emo phase that involve black fingernails and heavy eyeshadow and the like. And as much as we adore Tahlia, her life is laced with paradoxes, contradictions, and little bits of irony. So with Tahlia, she's the girl who was pronounced Dux of Year 12, but actually didn't know what the word ducks meant at the time. She can perform an emergency tracheotomy in the back of an ambulance, but she can barely peel a potato. I think Dex was destined to do all the cooking until she discovered the Thermomix. I'm sure you've all heard. She can navigate through peak hour traffic at top speed in an ambulance with complete clarity on where she's going, and yet she can't seem to process the directions to a cafe 2 blocks away that she's driven past 127 times. She can clinically diagnose a cardiac arrest moments before any serious symptoms appear, yet loses her phone and her keys consistently, even after being given a key locator for her keychain. She has an intimate understanding of the cardiovascular system, yet still thinks Berlin is a country, and takes great delight in asserting that the opposite to China is Japan. Well, there might be some logic in the last one, but safe to say Tahlia is the smartest dumb blonde we know. But of course, these paradoxes also extend to her pursuit of a soulmate and a lifelong partner. As many of you know, Tahlia has, shall we say, a strong personality. She's determined, assertive, and she likes to get away. Some might even say she's a bit bossy and demanding at times. But we love her to bits. And so it was very clear whoever ended up with her would end up having to be very amiable, very patient, and perhaps a little bit brave. Over the years, Tahlia insisted that the man of her dreams had to be someone who could challenge her thinking while also knowing when to agree with her. Now, I, being a pragmatic father, suggested that such a person probably didn't exist. Another paradox. So I cheekily proposed that maybe a polygamous relationship might be in order. Don't worry, Declan, it was a joke.
A bit late to tell
It
me
was,
that.
I think. Well, it turns out that there is actually someone who fits that bill. Declan, or as Tahlia affectionately calls him, my human golden retriever. Don't worry, Dex, it's a term of endearment. She doesn't actually think you're a dog. Is the most amiable person you could meet. He's easygoing, gentle, patient, but when necessary, he can hold his own. Somehow, Declan has learned the fine art of most of the time of knowing when to stay quiet, when to submit, and when to stand his ground.
Few and far between.
I think you do very well. And unlike Tahlia, he knows that South America is a continent, not a southern state of the US. So they complement each other perfectly. Declan, you've come into our lives seamlessly and become part of our family. You are the epitome of a gentleman, despite Tahlia's occasional protests to the contrary. We love you dearly, and both Franny and I are so proud to call you son. Our eldest daughter has chosen well. So if you could all please raise your glass and be upstanding to Tahlia and Declan. Come in.
Very good.
Thanks, bud.
So I thought I could try and be clever, sarcastic, and witty somehow when I thought of what to say for a maid of honour speech, because that's what Tahlia and my sense of humour is all about. But I can't this time. It's going to be one of the few times I get all deep and emotional, but I'll try to keep it short and sweet and tears to a minimum. I don't know if I have any left. Tahlia, I'm so lucky that I get to have a sister and a best friend all in one. Oh my goodness. Oh, just start. Woo, okay. Get it together. Those close to Tahlia would know her savage sense of humour, great banter, and hilarious quick wit. Oh my God. Woo, okay. Caleb, I'm as bad as you. Oh, you need to stand next to me. So. Oh. Come stand. Oh, all right. Woo. So those close to Tahlia would know her savage sense of humour, great banter, and hilarious quick wit. She lights up the room and can turn any low-key, possibly dull night into a room full of laughter. Of course, you still have your little flaws, like when you feel it's necessary to call me in the middle of work, asking me what aisle butter is in at Woolworths, or whether I would recommend Bondi Sands or Bali Body when it comes to fake tanning. But on top of all of that, Tahlia is one of the most generous, kind, caring, and considerate people I know. God. I'm better than this. Woo! Someone who will buy you flowers, chocolates, and be there for you simply because you had a bad date with a guy. Someone who is the best sounding board. She holds no judgment and will give you the best advice. Sorry. She'll give you the best advice, but be there as a shoulder to cry on if you don't take that advice. I practiced this so many times and it was fine. Tahlia, you've gone above and beyond and always been there for me during all the highs and lows of my life. I'm so happy for you that you have found someone that loves you so much and makes you so happy. You deserve nothing less than this endless love and happiness. Declan. When you were introduced into our family, I knew you were going to be in our lives forever. I'm so happy and excited to have you as my brother-in-law. You'll make the best husband, best friend, and future father. I hope you love growing old with Tahlia as much as we have loved growing up with her. That's the kicker. Congratulations to you both. I love you very much. Oh.
Hello everyone, I'm Tom and this is Hugh, and we are two of the groomsmen for Declan along with Blaze. So we've known Dec since we were roughly about 3 years old when we met at Montessori. We've been through a lot together from school into adulthood. Somehow managed to stay close despite all of our questionable decisions that we've made along the way. Having known Declan for such a long time, we thought it'd be a good time to reflect on the man he is and the many phases that we've been through together.
Thanks, Tom. Now, let's get the record straight. Dec might look like your typical footy guy, but at heart, he's a massive nerd and always has been. We've been gamers for as long as I can remember, and judging by my memory, that's not a good thing. From Minecraft, Call of Duty, and all in between, gaming has always been the constant in our lives, even when we tried to mix it up with other things. Sorry. Take high school, for example. Shut up. We had a phase where we decided to give drinking a try. But let's be honest, we were way too awkward for that scene. After a couple of failed attempts at being social, we just went back to gaming where we belonged. Then with Dec's surfing phase, which he roped Tom into. I wouldn't be a part of that. Now, he'll tell you that was about his love for the ocean, but let's be real, he started surfing because he thought it would be a great way to pick up chicks. There was just one small problem. Dec forgot he would actually have to talk to them. So after a lot of paddling and not much chatting, that phase quietly fizzled out. After that, there was a Krispy Kreme at midnight phase. Let's face it, Dec loves a good donut. And then currently, there's the running phase. For the past 3 years, we've been saying to everyone that we're going to run a marathon. Spoiler alert, none of us really want to do it. But at this point, we've told enough people that, look, to save face, we have to do it. And currently, and now, you're entering the married phase life, which Tom and I can't really give you any advice on. So, all the best.
Thank you, Hugh. And now let's take a little moment. Let's take a little moment to talk about Tahlia as well. So when Dec first met Tahlia, it was pretty clear that she was the one. They share the same sense of humour, they're aligned on their goals and values, and they've so far built an amazing life together, and I know that they'll continue to do so. Speaking on your influence, it's clear you've got Declan at your beck and call in the best way possible. He's your golden retriever, as Andrew put it. And honestly, that's exactly what he needs. You've brought out the best in him. You've helped him grow in ways that we've tried, but we haven't been too successful. So thank you very much for that. Your leadership and support have, Hugh wrote this bit. Your leadership and support have, where are we up to? I can't even read. My speech is a little bit...
That's cross, yeah.
Your leadership and support have pushed him to new heights. For example, getting Declan to go to paramedics like he's been talking about for a very long time, and he's nearly done, which is great. Let's hope that you guys continue to, side by side, you continue to do great things together. Anything else, Hugh?
I think you missed a bit.
Do your joke, Hugh.
I'll do it, that's fine. Here's the thing about Dec. He definitely has a type. That with women. Thanks, Graham, for the laugh, wherever you are. For as long as we've known him, it's been blondes. Always blondes. And Tahlia, you fit that perfectly. Well, at least you did. So, our piece of advice to you is if things get rough, you've always got that card. Thank you very much.
That's true.
We were fighting about that joke all afternoon. We didn't know if it was going to land or not, but I'm glad it did. It's a bit touch and go for a minute. Hey, I'm starting to get a bit nervous about going last, but we're going to invite Bridget and Maya up to the stage to do their speech now.
All right. We're going to make this one quick because we all want to see Declan's shaky knees on the dance floor.
If you had been a fly on the wall as Tahlia and I grew up together, you would have been in for one hell of a show. Our relationship was a roller coaster. One moment, we're listening to heavy metal while she's piercing my ears with cheap blunt studs. The next, we're throwing hands, ripping hair extensions out, throwing phones across the room, and calling each other names you couldn't even imagine.
My relationship with Tahlia is very different to my other sisters. Tahlia was like a second mother to me and helped raise me when I was younger. And for those of you who know us, you can definitely tell she rubbed off on me. Before Tahlia and Declan met, she had marriage figured out. At least she thought she did. Her vision of the perfect spouse was carefully constructed, driven by pure logic and attention to every last detail. It was essentially a business arrangement, and Tahlia was the director.
I'm sure God was having a good laugh as Tahlia got her future all figured out. Much like our teenage years, when she was certain that the man of her dreams would be a tattooed metalhead bad boy.
Pretty close.
We both eventually grew up and realised this was just a phase. In the end, despite Tahlia's incredible intelligence and deep analytical thinking, she was way off the mark with this one. Declan, you couldn't be further from the perfect business partner that Tahlia was certain she would marry, but you couldn't be more perfect for her.
Okay. Declan, aka Queenie, you care for my sister just as she's always cared for me and everyone else in her life. We love when you come around to our house and what you add to this family. You definitely have the little sister's approval, and I think it's safe to say the rest of the families. We wish that you have the happiest life ahead and pray that God looks after you both.
Oh. You're up, big dog.
Okay. Yeah, no pressure. Jesus Christ. I'm going for a minute. Sorry, so that's actually, yeah, it's not kosher. Great start. So, obviously, it's been a special day. And I'd like to thank all the speakers before me for setting such an amazing standard and something I obviously now have to follow. I've had quite the long afternoon, actually. From the father in the chapel. Give me the 1-2, trying to get the rings out too early. That was cheeky. Thank you. Then I wandered over to the Botanic Gardens. Got abused for about 3.5 hours. I didn't realise I married into the family, but I did. By association, I copped it, so that's fine. I can cope. I'm a grown-ass man, kinda. Not built like one. But in all honesty, as much as I've been up here and I've been trying to smooth the whole experience over for you, I am a little bit nervous about doing the speech because it is my little brother. He's been a very important person in my life, and I do want to do this. I do want to do this properly, and I want to do him and Tahlia justice. I want to roast him as well, so it's going to be It's going to be a bit of a balancing act, but just bear with me. And if the jokes don't land, I've already warned a couple of my Kirkwood friends at the back to laugh regardless. But I'm pretty sure they're all right, so let's go. All right. How do I know Declan? That's great. Thank you so much. No. Declan came screaming into my life in about April 1997. For just shy of 3 years prior, I had it pretty good. I was the only child, I was the centre of the universe, and I was doted on by my grandparents, my aunts and uncles, my godparents, and my family friends, many of whom join us here today. Declan's arrival brought with it the challenge of sharing the glow of undivided attention, and it took me some time to adjust. However, I am proud to say that we did figure it out, and I learned how to share and compromise with my newest life companion, my little brother. Once again, we had a good thing going, albeit I was conceding some of the spotlight to my brother, but we could work with it, and that was all good. Flash forward 2 years, January 1999, Declan and I, we were both cooked. Imogen, the first girl, and our new little sister, she completed the set, and once again, the lion's share of attention was redirected. Thank you so much, guys. We grew together as little people. We were surrounded by the best, many of whom are scattered around the room tonight. And I would like to thank you in all seriousness on behalf of me and Declan for the invaluable presence you have been in all our lives for the last 30 and 27 years, respectively. Now, while I was a bit of a rebel through my teenage years, and frankly into my 20s and a little bit into my 30s, Declan didn't follow my lead so much. He was on the quieter side, reserved, and avoided the spotlight as often as he could. You could find him at school, tucked away in a corner, somewhere on his Game Boy, or enjoying the pleasure of his own company, tucking into his lunchbox mum prepared with love. I know being the centre of attention today hasn't come naturally to Declan, but I think we can all agree he has endeared himself quite well over the course of the day. Don't mind the long fingers. While Declan was a bit of a slow burn early on, we did eventually pry him out of his shell, somewhere in his early 20s. And together we've had a boatload of fun over the years. From seasons of footy, winning flags together, to our shared social circle, and all the chaos and utter hilarity that has come with that over the journey. I think I'll personally remember him randomly doing unpaid street promotion for the Kinky Tiki Bar forever. And I'm sure that all that saw him through the haze of nightclub smoke at Rocket one night on the dance floor, commanding the people to come up and join him as he popped his signature stanky leg, will remember that for a long time too. In a lot of ways, I feel very blessed that most of my favourite memories and happiest memories all feature my brother Declan in one way or the other. We're not all that similar to look at, obviously. One of us is tall, muscly and handsome. Declan, well, I guess he's a bit tall too. Now, one way we definitely are similar, and Hugh and Tom kind of mentioned this, is that we both love the fantasy genre and comic books. I know, it's very cool. Declan and I can go back and forth about the lore and history of Lord of the Rings for hours, and I love that because frankly I'm a fucking nerd. And having an outlet like that is invaluable. So thank you very much, my friend. Apprehensively, I will move on to Tahlia. As this is a particularly special day for Tahlia and is the custom in our relationship, I will extend an olive branch and I will offer a truce. I will refrain from nitpicking, shit-stirring, personal attacks.
Hey, here's your olive branch.
I thought that might be coming, so with that in mind though, I do promise to always be diligent in reminding you of departure times at the airport, because I never want you to be late for a flight to Port Lincoln again. And I also promise to remain extremely concerned that the state government employs you to drive vehicles professionally. I'm pretty much done with jokes, I hope they were all right. My brother has always been unapologetically himself. From a young age, he's marched to the beat of his own drum, and he's always loved with a full heart. I'm very proud to stand by him today as his best man, and I'm so happy that he has found Tahlia to give that heart to. They have already carved out a life together that is so full of promise, and they clearly love each other in the purest sense of the word. I feel privileged to have borne witness to the journey so far, and I can't wait to see what comes next. Sassy. On that note, I would ask you to charge your glasses for one last time. To Tahlia and Declan, congratulations. May this just be the start of your newest, most exciting chapter yet, and may you forever look back on tonight with fondness. Cheers.
So we're almost done with the speeches. So it's customary that we have telegrams at a wedding. We are going to dispense with that custom, bar one exception. So this probably might not mean a lot to most people, but this is a telegram from Lara, who was actually a really close family friend of ours in New South Wales and babysitted Tahlia, and she unfortunately was not able to come today, and we FaceTimed her this morning when we were all getting ready for the wedding, but she sent this through, so I'd like to read it out on her behalf. Congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Tompkins. Tahlia and Declan, it was an honour to be invited to your wedding day, and we are devastated that we are unable to be there to celebrate this momentous occasion with you both. A lot of fun times were spent with you all at the Mulholland family home in Dubbo, and the occasional family farm visit. Andrew and Frenny are great friends, and watching their family grow, we saw they were also great parents. Tahlia, your chosen career came as no surprise to me. You showed signs of your future employment when Maya was a toddler and not feeling well. I was babysitting you all, and circumstances led me to dry heaving and you offering to help clean up. I think Bridget, Raquel and Caleb were all astounded by my reaction. Spending the day with you in Orange early last year was one of the highlights of 2023. Being able to see the remarkable young woman you have become, hear all about Declan, and see how happy you are, get an update of the Mulholland clan, and see you with this gorgeous smile you've had since you were a baby, really warmed my soul. Tahlia and Declan, may you always find your dearest friend, your deepest love, and your greatest joy in each other. With much love, Larsie and Jamie.
Yeah, I think at this point we need to hear from the man himself. I think he's speaking on behalf of the one that can't speak anymore.
Yeah, the 1 week she decides to get sick is this week, so it's unfortunate. Just from the both of us, obviously, we're just so incredibly grateful that everyone has made the journey here to celebrate this day with us. You're all obviously very important parts of our lives in different regards, and this day just wouldn't be the same without all of you being here to celebrate with us. So we're just so incredibly grateful. Thank you so much for coming. Sorry about the first dance. It's going to be awkward. Just join us as soon as possible.
Please allow We'll be just shuffling in a square.
Yeah, just a quick shuffle. Everyone will join in. We'll get the dance floor going and just enjoy the night. I just want everyone to have a great time.
I'd like to say one thing.
Okay. One quick word.
When Dec and I were putting together... Don't. When Dec and I were putting together who we wanted to have invited to our wedding, there was a clear distinction between people that we get along with really well and people that we could not spend the day without. And every single person here without exception, every single one was someone that we could not have a wedding without that person here. So we deeply love every single person. We consider you essential to our lives. We could not have had this day without you. My uncles travelled from Canada, my gorgeous auntie and family, my grandma, grandpa, all from Wagga. Thank you so much for the effort that you've made to be here. We love you, we appreciate you. And thank you very much.
Agreed. Thank you very much. Enjoy the night.